discussing the right timing. So I'm excited to hop into it here real quick. And I just wanted to remind you guys real quick if you guys would subscribe to the channel because I have a big goal coming up, and this goal is actually to reach 250 subscribers by the end of this month. We're still pretty far off, but I wonder if we can make it. So that being said, let's get our notebooks and pencils, whatever you have to do. Sit down, let's take notes, and I'm excited to get into this. So first of all, when I'm talking about the right timing, okay, it's kind of difficult for people to kind of grasp this, what I mean by the right timing, because the right timing is ultimately important to many key pieces in our lives. But what are those key pieces, right? So I'm definitely just gonna say real quick in this live stream, I'm definitely getting made fun of for having a big forehead. I mean, there's no way I'm not. Like, come on. Anyways, I'm gonna start. There's no way someone's not gonna notice and just be like, say something in the comments. I'm sure there's gonna be somebody. Anyways, that being said, all right. So I'm gonna say something. You guys know what I'm talking about. When this is kind of a relatable thing that everyone knows, everyone knows about. I'm gonna bring this closer so I can actually talk into the mic instead of far from the mic. So it's a story that everyone knows about, and well, not really a story, but you know. Anyways, so every single person, right? If you haven't burnt something, you know someone who has, right? I mean, like, you have had to at some point, and if you didn't, maybe your grandma did, or your mom did, or someone, right? And so here's where I bring burning food into this whole thing, is because if you burn food, right, that obviously means you do not have the right timing. You mess something up, you didn't have the right timing for one of your dishes, something just didn't work out, and you ended up burning something. Okay, so everyone relates to this. Everyone's burnt something before. So you know what I'm talking about, okay? And when talking about the right timing, this is key. So I'm going to kind of explain. All right, so when I was one time I was by myself and I was cooking. I'm a cook, right? So I know how to cook. I work at a restaurant. I work in a restaurant, and so while I was working, I actually had some a few orders come in, and the first was a big burger. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. And the first order was a burger in on the whole order, okay? And so I started making the burger, and it was a bacon burger, a bacon cheeseburger, whatever, right? And so I was like, all right, wow. Let me read this. This is crazy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know really how I can't read the whole thing, but I'll get to it in just a minute. So yeah, I was making this whole big burger, okay, and so I was making the burger, and all of a sudden, while I was making this burger, I decided to make another order that came in, and the order was 3 dishes, and they were all dishes that need to be sautéed. Each one of them need to be sautéed. Right. So I had this other order in my mind while I was making the burger. And here's what I didn't do. I didn't have the timing down right because while I was almost done with the burger, I decided to start the next order. While I was starting the next order, I was I was working on the whole order, and I decided that it was time to start the next one. Here's what I missed. While I did this, I realized I did not have enough things. I was out of this, I was out of sour cream, I was out of a bunch of stuff. And what I didn't go and do is I didn't go and check and see how much stuff do I have? How much stuff do I have here? Okay, this is how many stuff I have. This is how many resources. All right, now let's make the order, right? And so I just hopped into it, jumped into it. Let's make the burger and let's make this order. And you know how hard it is to cook when you don't have something to cook with, right? Like, it's impossible to make something with sour cream if you don't have sour cream. And so I was doing both at the exact same time, trying not to burn the burger and trying to make this big not big, three dishes on this order. And here's what I did wrong. No, I am not. It's just probably the lighting. Here's what I did wrong is when I was making the food, I started burning the rest of the food. So I was getting the burger done, finished the burger. The rest of the food is burnt. It's burning on. I'm putting it on the burner. It's burning right now. Like it's pretty bad. Now I'm trying to get the plate set for the dishes. And here's why I mention this because timing is key here. I did not have the right timing in the least, like at all. And so when I did this, I didn't actually time it correctly. I was looking at the orders, right? And so I was making all the plates. Here's what my boss came in to help me. It was just me cooking. Boss came in to help me after a while, and he was like, "So what is going on over here? Like you've burnt this, and you've already made the plates for the food, but the food's not ready yet. You can't go and make a salad if you're gonna put a steak on the plate if the steak's not ready, right? That doesn't make any sense." So I'm after that day, I learned something very, very valuable. And the thing I learned was correct timing. At our restaurant, we have to make sure everything is all cooked at the exact same time. Everything's heated up, everything's ready to go. Now, some restaurants have a heat lamp under their thing right here, but we do not have a heat lamp. So, it was very important that we all have the food all warm and ready to go at the exact same time. So, we're getting the food out, right? This is why I mentioned timing. Because if you don't have the correct timing and you're a cook, there's no way the food's going to go out warm. You have to make sure to have the right timing as a cook. Now, here's other places it applies when when you're not in a cooking position. Now, I'm going to give you guys a really funny, kind of a really funny thing here. But you guys are going to be like, what? For those who are gamers, you guys will know what this is, right? So for those of you who are gamers, you know what I mean when I say if you're playing Minecraft and on the first day in Minecraft, you have to go and collect all enough resources, right? You have to go collect enough resources to survive the first day. If you don't collect enough resources to survive the first day, you'll probably have to dig a hole and bury yourself and just wait till the next morning. And then you come out of the hole and there's a creeper standing there waiting for you to ruin your day. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's just these kind of things. So in Minecraft, you have to have the right resources. You have to have powerful resources, right? This is kind of a funny thing here. But anyways, you guys will understand where I'm going with this. So, though real life is not a video game, there's places where you can kind of mix this together. Say, if you decide to go out and do something, it doesn't matter how much confidence you have going into this task. If you do not have the right resources, timing is one of those resources. If you do not have the right timing, you can never do this task. If you want to learn to be a cook, okay, if you want to learn to be a cook and you decide to go out and cook and you don't take enough time to get resources to learn how to cook, you can never be a cook. So here's the thing. You need to have the right resources. You need to have the right time. This is key. So when I mention a video game, when I mention Minecraft, as you have to get enough resources before the night comes so you can defeat the mobs, right? So, yeah, this is it's kind of the same thing with real life. You have to have the right resources in order to do certain things. A stream is about the right timing. So I'm kind of talking about timing for everything. So that's why you want to make sure you have the correct resources to make sure it doesn't set you back. And one of those resources is timing. You want to make sure you take the right amount of time to learn something before you just jump in. All right, next, I don't like to start streams. I don't like to do my streams where I don't give you guys something you can change. I don't like to just go on and on and on about the problems. I like to actually give you guys something that can change. If you guys are following along with this, okay, this is just crazy. I'm not okay. Anyways, so I'm just reading the chat, guys, and I am just like, what? I shouldn't be shocked at all. This should not shock me. Uh, so here's what you guys can change in this. If you are wondering, how can I make sure I am following the right timing? How can I make sure the timing is right? Here's what you can do is you can start focusing on the long-term goal instead of focusing on the immediate reward. You need to focus on, so for YouTube, I'll give you guys an example of this. On YouTube, when you start streaming, I just read the last comment. That is hilarious. You got a point there. That is hilarious. I love that. That's kind of what I feel like. Just sit down, do a live stream. I'm just talking about like really good stuff, like really helpful stuff. Like, here's how I can help you guys. And what in the world am I reading in this live chat? Like, for real, this is just crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is hilarious. I'm not gonna end it. I don't care what you guys do in the live stream. Just, yeah, what, okay, okay, did I literally not, like, I swear, I put a filter on here to filter out some of these comments, and you guys just, where did the filter go? Like, what? There is like no filter. I swear. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna so so this is the one of the pieces. I'm gonna get back to this real quick. Is focus on the long term goal instead of the immediate reward. So on YouTube, when I'm live streaming, when you first start live streaming, you're not going to immediately get 100 or more viewers. It takes time. You have to put your time into it. You have to do as much as you possibly can with these things. If you're planning on making money on YouTube, if you're planning on being famous and rich, you have to focus on a long term goal. You can't focus on, I'm gonna be rich in 1 year off YouTube. That's not the plan. When I started YouTube, my goal was immediately, okay, this is gonna take 4 years to actually get to the place where I need on YouTube. It's gonna take 4 years where I can start making money on YouTube. Now let's put out the most quality content I possibly can until that point. If you can't do that, at least, if you can't even focus on the long-term goal, then you can't focus on timing. Timing is one of the key pieces in timing is patience. You have to learn patience, you have to be patient and wait for the time to come. Yeah, I just now read it. And what's going on? So that's funny that you actually asked that. So, you ask about the religion. Do I have any religion? And actually, this is actually in part of my notes, so you guys are gonna hear that in just a second. So stay tuned to hear actually what I believe and stuff like that. Um, yeah, for sure. Yeah, our when you're on YouTube and you're streaming, you want to put out good quality videos. Don't put out some, really cringy video. You want to actually put your face and you want to engage with the audience. So that's why right now I'm trying to engage with you guys, read your comments at the exact same time. Engage. Don't be the person to disengage. You want to engage with the people in order to actually gain viewers and gain subscribers. So that's kind of the goal, is be that kind of person to know the right timing, okay? Um Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for subbing. And so, all right, so here's the next thing you guys can change if you guys are wondering how to have the right timing. Here's the next thing you can change is don't be too prideful when trying to learn something. And I say this for you guys, but I say it for me too. Everyone has this problem. Everyone understands what I'm talking about. Because when someone tries to teach you something, oftentimes people say, well, I obviously, like, I already know this. I'm already old enough. Duh, I know this. So, this is one of the, I kind of want to give an example real quick. Is my boss the other day when it was literally yesterday. I was taking out plates. I'm not normally a waiter. I kind of do dishes. I'm a cook. I kind of do kind of whatever's needed to be done. Well, the waitress was still talking in the back, and so I just grabbed the plates to take them, and I took them out. So you learn to carry this many plates on your hand. You learn to carry, like one, two. You can carry 3 plates on your arm. Carry out 3 plates at one time in this arm, and then 2 plates in this arm, or 1 plate in this arm. And so that's what I was doing. I was carrying out all the plates and I was trying to learn the balance, make sure they don't fall. And so I took all the plates out. And when I came back in, he was trying to teach me something. And this is what he was trying to teach me. He was trying to teach me the exact steps you have to take, the position of your hand to make sure the other plate doesn't fall. If you stack it, it'll never fall. If you put your hand this way, right? And so when he was teaching me all this, I was thinking in my mind, yeah, I don't need to know this. Like, I've been here for a year. I've been here in the restaurant for a year, and it's kind of embarrassing to have the new waitress who just got hired come in and see me learning something. But why? Why would I be embarrassed to learn something? If the only way to actually get anywhere is to learn something, why would I be afraid to learn something? Why would I be afraid of what other people think of me to keep me from learning something? And yesterday was something I didn't only just learn one thing, I learned two things. And that stop being too prideful to learn. And the second was the hand placement for all the plates. I'm going to carry them all out in one arm. And so this was a huge thing is even when someone's trying to teach you one lesson, you can still learn two or three more lessons. This is something that no one really understands a lot of times, but this is a huge thing. Is don't be too prideful to learn. And the next thing, if I'm talking about timing here, if you're worried about the right timing, when is the timing going to happen? What's going on with the timing? Okay, I'm going to mention what you guys can do to fix this. Here's what you need to do in order to, what's this? Yes, yeah, that was one of the things I said earlier was the best thing or the main thing about timing is you have to be patient in order to learn timing. All right, here's the next piece you guys can change. I wrote three things. So the first is focus on the long-term goal, not the short-term goal. The second was don't be too prideful to learn when it comes to timing. And the last one is pray about it. You should be praying about it. This is where the religion piece comes in, where you ask that in the comments there. I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about what this all means to me. Is if you pray about the timing, if you ask God, what is the timing here? What do you want me to do? He will most definitely give you an answer. Now, the answer is not always yes, and the answer is not always no. The answer can most definitely be maybe. So when you ask God, what's the right timing here? What do you want me to do? I'm focusing on your goal. What is your timing? If you focus on that piece, if you start praying and asking God, what's their timing here? He will answer your timing for sure. Without a doubt. He will give you timing. He will give you the correct timing. You just need to focus on that piece. And all right, and that's the last of the pieces that you guys can change, but I wanted to give you guys another example. Now that we're kind of on this piece of praying, I kind of wanted to bring scripture into real life here. If we're talking about timing, so think about this. Why is it that God, right, the Almighty Creator, right, He created the whole earth in 6 days? How is it that because He's so powerful, how is it that He couldn't have done it in one day? Here's where I'm getting with this. Hold on. Here's where I'm getting with this. I believe that just because He could have created the earth in one day instead of 6 days, that doesn't mean He should have. Here's where this all comes in, is if God can do that, if God can wait, and instead of creating the earth in less than one day, He could have just piled everything together. Okay, it's all created. Boom. Right? If nothing's impossible with God, He could have done that. But just because He could have doesn't mean He should have. Man, I'm preaching already. All right, so this is something that we should learn for our lives. Is just because we can do something, I'm not at all putting us against. Anyways, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. Sometimes when we have our plans set up already, this is what we're gonna do. God says, this is not the time for that. Wait. And so this is where we have scripture and real life when we can put them together. Because oftentimes what we want to do is contrary to God's will. Not all the time, but oftentimes. This is why we need to pray about the right timing. Hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you guys. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, so that was one of the examples I wanted to put in here because it's very important to kind of understand if we don't put scripture and with real life, it's a lot harder for people to actually kind of understand, have I ever met God? Now, I'm wondering if you put that in there as a trick question, but met him face to face, I cannot say I have seen him, but I live I live to honor God. That is a part of my life. So, I talk to him every day. I pray, right? It's like very important. I have met him. Yes, I have not seen him. Um, and I want to kind of talk about also why all of this is important. Because I've talked about timing through this whole video. And here's why it's important to talk about timing. Is timing is one of the key pieces of your foundation. It is, I can't say it's the key piece of your foundation, because the key piece of your foundation is God. God is the key piece of your foundation. If you aren't relying on God, then this is not the key piece of your foundation. You need to be relying on God. You need to be praying, studying the Bible. This is the key piece. The next piece is ask God about the timing. Is timing in our lives is one of the biggest things. If I had decided, so I'm gonna say in the stream that I believe I have been called to Egypt to be a missionary. But if I had decided my own timing for this, if I decided I'm gonna go in the next few years and not talk to God about it, that might be contrary to his will. Okay. So you said here, I pray and ask for forgiveness if I do something wrong. I think, yeah, that's great that you do that. I think it's very important though that we focus, instead of just asking for forgiveness, to actually have a heartfelt change in this whole thing. So instead of just praying, God, I pray that you forgive me, right? You gotta have to have a heartfelt, I want to change this. I'm done. I'm moving on, right? So that's kind of where the forgiveness comes in. But I'm very glad that you're praying and asking for forgiveness. That is awesome. And then yeah, so that's just one of the best pieces of this whole thing, is focusing on setting your foundation of your life by focusing on the right timing. If you focus on the right timing, this is a huge piece. And next, I mean, that comes with timing. This piece that comes with timing is patience. You have to be patient to learn timing. Very, very important. So yeah, I would say in all of this, everything I talked about in the stream, the key piece of timing is you have to have God at the top of all of this. You have to be praying about the timing. As much as you have to be praying, as much as where you want to live. When you're older, when you're ready to move out, where do I want to live? Where do I want to go? Let's see. Oh, thank you. The mic does sound very good. Thank you. Let me just kind of read through the comments here. Let's see here. If Jesus died for every sin, is there really any sin after he died? I mean, the short answer to that is yes. Yes, he died to forgive us from our sins, but yes, there's definitely sins after he died. Most positively, yes. There are still people sinning to this day, and that's why we need missionaries. We need people out on the field, right? If there was nobody sinning right now, why would we be sending out missionaries to bring people to Christ? So the short answer is yes. Yes, you can still sin after he died. Now, here's the most important piece: is he died in order to forgive us from our sins. So, yeah, I mean, here's the pieces. I think I've probably said if you sin, but the thing is everybody sins. I mean, everybody sins, and even after Christ died, everybody sinned. This is not just after he died, now we're all set free. You have to start focusing on, now that he's died in order to forgive me from my sins. Now I want to focus on actually asking for forgiveness, being cleansed from my sin already. So that's kind of the whole goal ultimately. And And then the next piece I just had is the last video that I'm going to be coming up. That's going to be coming up here is going to be, I actually watched a video on YouTube, and it was a guy. I'm not sure if any of you guys know this person, this YouTuber. His name is Eric, and I'm not a huge fan of him. But if you guys know who he is, he did a big, I guess a foundation, a journey. No, what do you call it? Anyways, he was going across the whole world in 30 days, I believe it was. And he said, "All right, I'm going across the world in 30 days at this time." Um, it was like, I think he said he was going in November, and he was filming every day, posting it, uploading it, and we actually found that. Um, Thank you. Yes. So we actually found that. uh, I honestly completely lost my train of thought, but that's okay. I'm gonna get back into it here. That he actually ended up cheating, and he actually went back. He took the whole journey in September instead of November, and so he was actually caught cheating in this whole thing. He didn't say anything about it. And in one of his newest videos, he was talking about giving karma to real life cheaters. And this kind of it really upset me because I saw what he did in his video in his whole series. He completely lied to everyone, told them he was doing it, and now he wants to go and expose other people, but he won't talk about what he did himself. I feel like this is totally like against what we should be doing, right? It's like, even when you put something like that on YouTube, everybody sees it. Everybody knows. No, this is Iraq. This is Iraq. And so yeah, those is one of the things I was like, I really don't. What is this? Yeah, no, he is. I believe that was very against against God's will. In the commandment in the Bible, it says don't lie, and that was one of the things he did. And he also cheated and then put everyone else in. What did you say? Just rude. Oh, the comment before, that's kind of funny. I didn't notice that. That's kind of funny. Rain Trahan. No, yeah, so that'll be kind of the next video. I'm going to be discussing that topic. I'm going to actually study a little more of it. But one of the ways that he was actually found from cheating was that his own watch kind of told on him. He turned his watch and it said like September, I think it was September 15th. And he said he was starting on like November. And so we was like, huh, you must have started a few months earlier. And then the next thing was when he was like gonna cook some beef or ground beef or whatever for dinner, he grabbed his what did you say? That is great. I love that comment. That is awesome. Uh that is amazing. I have not seen a comment section this crazy in a while, man. I'm telling you. This is just awesome. Yeah, this is just incredible. Anyways, so is the next thing was he had a package of meat and like ground beef or something, and the expiration date was like September 28th or something like that. It was like there's no way you'd be eating this if it was in November right now. Like, and the other thing was like a parade. He was like, I'm not sure what this parade is. It ended up being a national parade in a certain country, and this parade was a really big thing for their whole country. And this whole parade was actually timed in September. And everything kind of fit together to find out, yep, he's definitely cheating. He filmed this all 2 months ahead of time, so that way he could already just upload the footage every day, and it wouldn't be as hard for him. And so when you cheat like that, you really get the attention of everybody on YouTube. And so I used to watch this guy's videos, and I just stopped watching the guy's videos. I was like, I'm done. Like this guy, if he's gonna cheat like that and then say nothing about it afterwards, I'm done. And then afterwards, he kind of let it sit for a few months. After a few months, he kind of just let it go. Everyone forgot about it. And then he actually ended up posting this video, giving real life cheaters instant karma. And in my mind, I wanted to comment something like, why would you give other cheaters karma when you should be getting karma yourself? But I was like, that's not the way that God would want me to comment. I should not be commenting based off my feelings. I should actually kind of just do some research, and I should talk about in the live stream, kind of give you guys how I feel about this whole thing and why it's important. So yeah, this is a huge thing. It's very important to see other people's reactions to certain things like this. And I didn't comment that just because I wanted to keep, I guess I wanted to make, if I commented something like that, people would see me as the bad guy, right? Is addressing this big YouTuber with something like this, and people wouldn't like that. And it's not just about what people think, it's about what's right. So I figured it wasn't right to do this. But anyways, I did want to talk about this in the next live stream, the next video, so that'll be coming up here soon. And then I gotta save that mustache. Shave the mustache. What mustache? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. There's like, yeah, dude, I no. Anyways, we're coming up on 31 minutes here. I think I'm gonna end the stream here in a minute. We could even go to 35. I don't care. We could do 35 minutes. That's fine. I definitely want to do. So this is one of the things I've been struggling with. Actually, is when you start a YouTube channel and your focus is on the money and not the long-term goal. I started doing that. I started focusing on the money, not the long-term goal, and then I started posting, educational shorts. And here's the funny thing is, if you post education, people most of the time don't care, or not people, I guess YouTube doesn't really care. They don't, thanks, man. They don't actually care enough to push the content out. They don't care enough to put the education out, push it out into the algorithm. And so it was getting like 0 views. And so I was kind of bummed about this, and I started to post RC content, and then I started to go over to entertaining live streams, and I realized, why am I going into entertaining live streams when what I really need to be doing is focusing on educating people on the live streams? If that's what I really like doing, why would I focus on doing something I don't like instead? So it's like, if I can tell people about God and be the most educational person, like actually give you guys something you can change and be really helpful, why would I do something like entertaining that wouldn't be helpful? Like, I don't want to be I feel like entertainment's good and everyone loves entertainment, but I feel like if I can split my channel in half and put half entertainment and half education, half of you guys can learn something, and those of you that don't want to learn something can go watch something entertaining. And those of you who are watching something entertaining can come and watch my live streams. It's kind of genius, but it's a lot better that way, because YouTube's not going to push my shorts if they're educational, but they will push my long form videos as well as my live streams if they're educational. So yeah, that's kind of the goal ultimately, is to teach something. I don't like to do live streams where I can't teach something. I don't like to go on and on and on about something that I really don't like, or something that needs to change, and not give people something that can actually change. I feel like it's better if I kind of go and give you guys something. All right, here's what you can change. Like, for instance, I wrote down in this live stream, I don't normally do this, but I wrote down 3 things that you guys can change. I've kind of followed a video format, I guess, and I've put I don't want to give up my whole format, but anyways, I kind of give a few examples of some things on a certain topic, and then after that, I will kind of give you guys something you can actually change. After these examples, I'll give you guys something you can change, and then I think that's super important, is when people ask me, what do you do for your channel? I don't want to be answering with, oh, I just post RC videos. I only post RC videos. I only post entertaining videos. I want to reply with, oh, I do something on YouTube that's really beneficial to other people. Something they can learn, something I've learned in my life, I can teach somebody else in a video. So I want people to start responding with that. I want to start responding to people with that instead of, oh, I try to entertain people on YouTube. I want to be the person to actually help you guys learn something. And so by doing that, I want to give you guys plenty of room to ask questions, and plenty of room to answer your guys' questions, as well as just make sure you guys are actually learning something. So at the start of my live streams, I always say, so grab a piece of paper and a pen and start writing some notes because I feel like it's very important that we take notes on this. This is my notes for the live stream today. Just in case I forgot certain things, I've got another page too. This page. And just in case I forgot what I was talking about, I can go back and look at my notes. And this was actually really, really important and really helpful before coming into a live stream. If you are going to live stream, start putting down notes and focus on actually having a plan instead of just jumping into a live stream. I used to do that. I used to just jump into a live stream with no plan, no idea of what I was going to do, and it didn't turn out very good. But now that I actually have a plan, I start writing stuff down. Especially now that I've kind of pivoted into education on my live streams, I've made sure that all this education. Okay, that wasn't very nice, but I don't care. That this education is actually very, very, very helpful. Instead of just rambling about things that need to change, I want to actually make sure you guys are learning something from it. So that being said, we are at about 36 minutes here. I think we can go probably to 38 minutes. Give it a few more minutes. And then I am going to, what do you mean, how do you know? And then I am going to end the live stream, but I'm just going to stay here for a bit. And then I just kind of wanted to let you guys know, I do have a subscriber goal this month of 250 subscribers. I want to see if we can beat it. I would love to try and beat it. If we can, that'd be amazing. No, I'm not going to shut it down now. You can leave if you don't like it. But I'm not going to shut my live stream down because you don't like it. Sorry, bro. And yeah, I don't know that person. I was like, if that's one of my friends, then that would make sense that they're saying that. But no, I'm not just going to. I have a subscriber goal of 250 subscribers by the end of this month. We're coming really close to the end of this month. So I would love it if you guys would subscribe to help me out here, get to the end of this goal. And the ultimate goal is 500 subs by February 2nd. I hope we can get there. With your guys' help, we can get there. So I really appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, bro, that's fine. Yeah, man, you can keep commenting that. I'm fine, bro. Okay, if you think about it this way, if 99% of my viewers or 98% of my viewers actually really care about my live streams and they're like, man, I love this live stream, and then 2% hate it, that is completely fine with me. I do not care, man. If you don't like the live stream, then you can leave because almost everybody else has said I love this live stream. So yeah, all right, sure. I'll talk to you guys in the next live stream. We're at 30 minutes, 38 minutes. All right. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream here. Just because I might even go a little bit longer just to kind of make you guys angry. How about that? What if I just decided to go to 39 minutes or 40 minutes? You can just get off the live stream instead of trying to rage bait me. It's not working. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for 39 minutes here and I'll end the stream. Yeah, I'll wait for 39 minutes. Yeah, I'll actually wait to 40 minutes, actually. Might as well. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna end it at 40 minutes. Yeah, you guys have just been putting a bunch of hate comments on the stream, so no, I'm not gonna end it here. You guys can get off. I'll end it at 40 minutes. How's that for you? Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. 41 minutes. Nope, 40 minutes. No hate. Okay, well, there's definitely someone on there that was, so, alright. No, man, I'm waiting for 40 minutes here. You probably won't. You probably won't regret it because you won't be able to do it. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream here. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next live stream tomorrow. Bye bye.